Now, this is going to be brought to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's dive right on in. So, did you guys catch that decision day last night? Well, okay, first I can say one thing I was happy about is that they didn't spend like an hour recapping the relationships. I mean, they did recaps, but I felt that they were appropriate, not like this just endless drag on thing. So, who do we start off with? I believe the first couple was Mike and Jasmina. So, she comes in, he comes in, and she's looking flawless, just like, model flawless. She kind of gives me a little bit, not in the face, but like her body, like she kind of reminds me of like those 90s supermodels, and she's wearing the orange, which really complemented her skin tone so well. Okay, so anyway, yeah, her and Mike, they sat down and, basically they decided to stay together. Now, I was thinking that just like common sense told me there was no way they were going to stay together. However, I did hear some spoilers out there, and I never brought them attention to my channel, and I usually don't with the spoilers because I mean, we want to have the fun and the excitement. It's kind of nice. I don't really like the spoilers that much. Now, every once in a while, you'll get a spoiler that's like too juicy. You can't hold it to yourself. But in those situations, if I ever do have like a crazy spoiler, I will make sure that I give you warning, and I will usually try to put that at the end of the video so people who don't want to be spoiled can just, log off, and then we can finish talking about things. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I heard. But I was thinking like, oh, that I don't know. I don't think that can be true because they, especially her, she seems so like um she's very direct about what she doesn't like, right? Which basically is, in terms of chemistry, is not him. So I'm just surprised that she's still hanging in there like that. I can't really explain what even I don't know. I don't have a theory because I don't think she's on there. I mean, she's in like in education, right? She teaches was it preschool age children or something like that. I don't think she's on this show just, merely for exposure. I really think that she is genuinely in it for love. And him as well. Oh, definitely. I definitely believe he's very genuine about his intentions. Now, of course, I could see why he would want to stay with her. But then again, okay. So I remember it was her that went first, right? Now I remember thinking to myself, him saying like, if we just can't get there, we just can't get there. I'm gonna have to think about myself as well. But I was like, okay, we'll see. Like, depends on who's gonna go first. But I had a feeling that they would have her go first, and according to whatever she would say, he would say, right? Because I think if she said no, I think then he would have said the same. But the fact that she's willing to stick it out, okay, well, I mean, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not sure, like, what's gonna happen. I mean, I just feel like her deep friendship that she is developing with him, I just don't feel like it could turn romantic at any point. I really don't. And he, of course, is just sitting there hoping, holding out for hope, basically. Poor guy. You almost can't blame him, right? But we will see. I mean, next week we're going to have that reunion episode, and I feel like that's going to be the better episode than what we saw last night, right? So, okay, let's go on. Let's move on. Next, we had, oh God, Katina and Elijah on. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that one either. I I correctly predicted that. I did think that they would stay together. And his whole spiel about, her being there for him and her putting in the work and all of this stuff. It's just it breaks my heart. It really does. It just breaks my heart to see a girl like her, who could just, with the right person, all that love and that positivity and all that patience that she has, could be with the right person. And it breaks my heart. I don't know how long that marriage is going to last. I really don't know. I mean, I can only hope that they'll break up like after decision day. It is like, it scares me for her that she's with him. I just, Anyway, if you guys want to know like more about how I felt about Olajuwon and his relationship with Katina, you can check back on some of the earlier videos. I mean, I'm kind of, what really got me with this situation was like when they're there with the experts and they're acting like he's just such a stand-up guy. And I'm like, you people are like absolute, you're completely and absolutely out of your minds. I mean, and listen, Dr. Viviana and what's his name, Pastor Cal, no, absolutely not. I'm not here for any of their advice. I mean, she knows, Dr. Viviana knows the way she treats, the way he treats her. It's just, it's beyond. Listen, those two, okay, but I'm not surprised. But Dr. Pepper, like, I wanted you to at least be the one to be like, she's not going to tell them to break up, but like you wanted to see a little something more from her. And I was just all the way disappointed all the way around. I just hope that they find a new panel of people, these experts, because encouraging people to stay with people who verbally abuse them is like, it's just the worst kind of it's just the worst kind of act you can do. And what about younger people that watch this, or impressionable people that watch this and say, you know what, okay, well, yeah, maybe this guy at home treat me like this, but look, these experts are saying that if you just stick it out and you just communicate more, maybe you can get this person to come around and see your side. There's a difference between compromise and abusive behavior, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. But again, I was not surprised. Like Jasmina and Michael, I was a little bit surprised with them. I thought that they were gonna break up. It just didn't make sense for them to stay together. But this whole Olajuwon and Katina, oh God, I could see it. I could see it. It was predictable. Okay, so next we have Steve and Noye. So Steve and Noye, I thought were going to stay together, and they did. Um, and what surprised me is that, she finally stopped being, like she's like, she's almost like this, kind of like that kind of thing. And not about the money, but some of the other stuff, right? Just like almost like a little, like a little kid or something. But, she seemed to be doing a little bit more maturing with this. And I see at the end that she, basically is at least willing to live in the same house. And I was like, thank God. Like, how did you think that was not gonna, how was that supposed to work? Especially if you're trying to get him to work, you gotta like, I don't know. Maybe it's a different situation, but I feel like if you're living with a person, then you can apply more of that pressure, right? Like, get your butt to work. Like, what about, start getting these resumes out, or start networking or something like that, right? But she eventually did decide that they should live together, and I think that was good. And okay, so those two stayed together, and I thought that they would. And then the last couple was Chris and not Chris, but Mark and Lindsay. So they stayed together. And even though I feel that they should not have stayed together, I have really had a feeling that they were going to stay together. Because even though he seemed so checked out from her, I was like, I feel like he's still going to be trying and trying and trying. Now, long term, I don't know if they'll make it long term. I think it just might become too much, too toxic, too much tears, too much disappointment, too much letdown, too much lack of affection, too much, her screaming and berating him. I feel like after a while that's gonna maybe take its toll. So, who knows? Maybe they'll be able to work it out. But I just feel like with Lindsay, um, I really do not see her changing. I really do not. Like, remember she was saying, okay, first of all, the whole bathroom bowling scene was just like so completely, I know she was frustrated, and I felt some of that frustration for her. But God, the way she handled that was so. I just could not. For my own self, I couldn't forgive that. I just could not. So then, when you go back to, was it the last episode? I believe it was, where they took the fertility test, and she's talking about the viscosity of the man's, sample, shall we say? I said, come on, even as a nurse, that that's like not the kind of thing that you would, it's just not the kind of thing you talk about. I mean, that's in a hospital setting, that's a HIPAA violation. What would make you want to say something like that about your husband on national television? That is it is just so demeaning. I just, man, yeah. So anyway, but even with all that, did still think that they would remain together. However, I don't think that that'll last long run. Now we'll see. We'll see. I mean, all of these little predictions and stuff, we have no idea. We'll find out later on. Maybe people will open up their Instagram accounts and make their accounts visible, to the public or whatever. But yeah, I don't know about that. So later on, everyone gets together and, they're talking about what kind of decisions they made. And here comes Chris and Alyssa. Now, I mean, I didn't really think that they should be on there. I'm not saying like rob them of being a part of the cast, but you didn't make it to the end. So I don't really see, what decision. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could argue that they did a decision date. They did their own, or Chris did anyway. He made his own decision date earlier on, but I don't know. I didn't need to see them. I mean, what was that all about, right? And she really had nothing to say. And Chris, now listen, did you guys notice Chris lost some weight? He sure did. Now, I bet the stress from that woman made him say, okay, maybe I need to hit the gym. But Chris looks like he's lost a good maybe 10, 15 pounds. And he's definitely looking better, that's for sure. Um, let's see what else. Okay. So, oh, and then Steve decides to get down on one knee and give her that ring. Now, she was so excited in that moment, and I can understand that because remember, I've always said she has more of that fantastical, or is that even a word? I don't know. It's fantastic kind of way of thinking, very whimsical, right? So I thought that she was, what I would expect. Like her reaction was what I expected from her. Like, oh, I'm getting the ring, even though in her mind she's like, oh, you don't have the job, but she's still so happy about the ring because that's falling into line with like her her ideal situation of a mate. So the thing is that I was like so back and forth with Steve, but up until this time, so it's been 8 weeks. He has had several weeks to get a job, several, and I don't want to call Steve a Dusty because I mean I feel like he has potential. He can do well, and at least he contributes. He still contributes monetarily. It's not like she's paying for everything, and he also contributes domestically. Now, but the loggerheads here, where they kept like, we're doing like this, was because she believes because she's working that he should take care of all the housework. And I don't know if that's unfair. I mean, if he's home, I mean, what else does he have to do? But at the same time, you know, it's difficult because he can't expect her to say, okay, well, it's okay if you only do this and this and that instead of doing, A through Z because, I'm at work and you're not. But, for her to say if she's okay with him just doing a few things versus doing everything, I feel like she's saying that, like, it's kind of like, okay, they're not going to be in that particular apartment forever. So both of them want to get an idea of what life will be like to cohabitate, but that actually will require you living together. But that's fine because she finally came around and decided that they are going to live together. So he wants to also feel like once he does get a job that, and he's working full time, she's not putting everything on him. And that's totally understandable. But if you're not working and you're not showing her what that looks like, she doesn't know what that looks like. She has no idea what it's like to come home and, maybe you have to get dinner ready because you're stuck in traffic coming home. She doesn't know what that's like. And I don't know that even when he does start working, if it will require commute. Maybe he'll be home and maybe, she'll still expect him to do things. So that is really one of those things that takes a lot of conversation, a lot of compromise, but I feel like that shouldn't be as much of a conversation until at least he gets a job. But the fact that it's been 8 weeks in and he hasn't, I'm looking at Steve like, I mean, that ring it's a good gesture. It's definitely a good gesture, but I'm sure she would have preferred, an offer letter from Microsoft or something like that versus the ring. Well, she's kind of like I said, she's very whimsical, so she would really love that ring regardless. But in order to give her that security that she needs to feel, you got to work. And yeah, I say she has like little childish things about her, but I think that those things will definitely change with time. She's still quite young. She's not as experienced in relationships and things. So, um, I don't know. I just if he doesn't get a job by at least by the reunion, I don't know. She might leave him. She might leave him. I don't see her staying in something long term, even if it's not exactly at by reunion time, maybe a little bit after. If this man does not start working, she will leave him. I think she will. And if even if she doesn't want to, her family, I think, would probably have her, sit down and have a little talk with her. But hey, maybe they need to sit down and have a talk with him. I mean, Steve is open to listening and reason. I mean, that's what was so frustrating about him because so many times he was the voice of reason, except when it came down to like Elijah. Too many of them were too, like, they were just pacifying him. But I know that they're scared of him, and that's a whole nother topic. But the fact that he doesn't have a job and we're at the end of the show, I mean, I guess at this point, fully form my opinion of him. And it's just that I'm not, he has a lot of great qualities, but to me, it does not seem like he's ready for marriage. It just doesn't. I mean, maybe he'll be happy like traveling in the van or something like that. And she's like saying, "Oh, things are going good," and I'm trying to convince him to get another dog. Don't be pushing dogs on people who don't even have jobs, okay? Because then it's going to be a situation where you're going to wind up stuck with two dogs, and then you're going to be looking for your next partner to walk these dogs and pick up their poop, which is very unfair. That I don't agree with. So, we'll see. I mean, hopefully somebody will be broken up by next week. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think this is like, so when I was looking at the experts, I was thinking to myself, they must be so happy, like, oh, we got 4 for 4 this time. This has never happened, right? I don't think it's ever happened. Always somebody's broken up. But see, the thing is that it now had Chris and Alyssa stuck in there, and if they were a good match, or well, I shouldn't even say a good match, but say more of a viable coupling, then maybe we could have, seen like, 4 say yes, 1 say no. But the fact that, they got like 4 out of 4, I'm sure they are feeling like they are popping champagne bottles back in, they're getting their signing bonuses or whatever. It was just terrible. I could not believe it. Like, of all the people that should not have been together, the most toxic. We've seen other seasons that were bad, and I feel specifically like the seasons that really stood out, of course, was Chris season 12 and season 13, which was last season with Gil and Mirla. And that was just like, I felt like because with that particular couple, there were so many people that were so far apart. I mean, there was a gulf between the people that believed in Gil, and oh, he's just a good working, a good hardworking blue collar kind of Joe, and then oh, Mirla, she's just this princess. So there were people that were really heavy on their teams and stuff. So there was so much more emotion, and so I mean, there was a lot of different, couples that she thought, oh, these, okay, but maybe those two can work, or maybe those shouldn't. But this particular panel, I mean, Steve and Noye, I feel like should not be together. I was hoping, I was leaving, my last, comment, my last final, um, uh, opinion, like trying to wait to completely formulate that based off of him getting a job. Not to say that she doesn't have to change stuff too, but that stuff that she needs to change will happen with time, I think, as just being, in a mature relationship. But with yeah, but now at this point, the fact that Steve has not gotten a job yet, and he's still acting like he hasn't even been looking for anything. It's not like he was like, yeah, I finally started. It's been a little tougher than I thought, but I know I got to make this work. He's still like, well, I just feel she doesn't trust me. Get your head out of your behind, Steve. This is a marriage. Who the hell wants to be on here with someone who's not working and they're married? Come on, it's just ridiculous. And so I feel that they should not be together. I feel like Jasmina and Mike should not be together. They maybe are good for picking out furniture at IKEA, but as a couple, I feel that they're not good together. Mark and Lindsay, well, we already know. I think most of America thinks that Mark and Lindsay shouldn't be together. And I don't think that it's solely that Mark is afraid of her. I think that it's more of him really, his personality is that, like, that gotta keep going until, the very end. You gotta try, gotta try, gotta try. Can't give up, can't give up, right? So, and then let's see. And then Katina, hold on one second. Yes, baby.
I get what happened. I walking again. Again, I got again the clothes. I didn't walk it. I can't make them. And I want to walk.
Okay, baby. Mama's doing a video right now. I'll be there in just a minute, okay? Okay, bye-bye. So sorry about that. So yeah, I don't know. I just, the whole cast, just throw them all out. I swear, the couplings, it just, having Steve on there without employment to begin with, Mark and Lindsay, that just a train wreck. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys think that any of them are going to still be together? Well, I'm sure they're not going to all be broken up by next week, but do you think there could be going to be any couples that decide to finally break up? Do you guys think? I don't know. It's just too much. I don't know. I'm still like reeling over the Zach and Mikhail. That's like, I'm still really like getting over season 13. So this whole, them, everybody staying together and getting the spoiler that they were going to stay together, that was kind of disappointing to find out that it was actually true, and everything like that. So I don't know, guys. This particular season, this is the first season that I have reviewed this show. I've been watching from season 1, what was on the FYI channel. I was like, the FY what? I was like, what is this? I was looking at my DVR. I was like, what is this channel? I didn't even know I had this channel. I didn't see any ads or anything for it. I just, like, I don't know, turned it on, started watching it. So it was really good. And then it went straight to Lifetime, right? They knew they had a hit on their hands. So now Lifetime is going to be doing a new dating show with something about a girl living with 5 guys. So I'm going to take a look at that. If that looks interesting, then I may review that. I'm not sure though, but I feel kind of, this just fell flat. This wasn't the best season. I wish I would have started reviewing this a little bit earlier, because, I would have loved to got in on the ground floor with Chris and his shenanigans, but, whatever. So let's see each other next week, and we will reconvene and see who's still together and who isn't. Let's see Alyssa sit there and try and convince the world that she's a good person. Just nonsense, just nonsense. It should be a lot more fun because they're bringing Kevin Frazier back, and he tends to kind of get up in their behind. So let's see how that goes. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know where I'm going live and making more videos. That's it. Did I say everything? Stay safe, take care, and Chippy Salacho.